What if your phone actually understood you, instead of you having to understand it? It's a pretty simple idea, right? But it's also a really powerful one, and it's the whole concept behind something called SilverKey OS. We're talking about a completely new way of thinking about technology, especially for a generation that's often been left behind.
So let's start with a number, a huge one. $4.9 billion. That's how much money was stolen from seniors just through financial scams in the last year alone. And look, that's not just some statistic. That's a real crisis happening every single day on phones and computers in homes just like ours.
So what's really going on here? Where is this problem coming from? Well, it gets at something called the digital exclusion crisis. And the thing is, it's not about older adults being unable to learn new things. Not at all. It's that the technology we've built, the tech we all use, can often feel like it was designed to work against them.
And this is what's known as the interface gap. Think about all the things we do without even thinking. Swiping, tapping on tiny fonts, trying to find that weird little hamburger menu. For a lot of people, those aren't just minor annoyances, they're genuine roadblocks. Now throw in the stress of a two-factor code that vanishes in 30 seconds, or trying to figure out if a pop-up is a real alert or a phishing scam. Suddenly, the digital world starts to feel like a minefield.
And the cost here isn't just about money, not even close. 43% of seniors report feeling isolated, and a big reason is that the very apps that are supposed to connect us are just too frustrating to use. And then there's the other side of the coin. They're kids who are spending, on average, more than 10 hours every single month playing tech support. It creates this dependency trap that really puts a strain on the whole family.
Okay, so we've seen the problem, and it's a big one. But what if the solution isn't about making people better at using technology? What if it's about making technology better at understanding people? What if, finally, our devices just learned to listen?
And that simple question brings us right to the core idea we're going to dig into today, SilverKey OS. Now, this isn't being pitched as just another app or some minor upgrade. No, this is framed as a complete and total replacement, an operating system built from scratch with one goal: to speak human.
You've got to get this core philosophy because it's everything. This is not just another app you have to download and learn. They're building a voice-first shell. It completely replaces that entire confusing mess of icons and menus with the one tool we all know how to use, our own voice.
So here's the bottom line. SilverKey OS is a custom operating system that gets rid of the entire smartphone interface and replaces it with 100% voice navigation. It's all built around this idea that our tech should speak human, not tech. That means no more tapping, no more swiping, no more confusion. You just talk.
Okay, so that sounds great in theory, but how does it actually work in the real world? Well, SilverKey OS is apparently built on 3 distinct layers of protection, and each one is designed to make the digital world not just simpler, but a whole lot safer. Let's start with a really basic task.
All right, imagine something we all do, like paying a bill. Instead of having to find the right app, remember a password, log in, and then navigate some clunky payment website, the user just speaks. Pay the electricity bill. That's it. The OS does all the heavy lifting in the background and then confirms in plain English. I found a bill from PG&E for $45.20. Should I pay it from your Chase checking account? All it takes is a simple yes. The complexity just disappears.
So that first layer of protection is called the Guardian Security Layer, and you should think of it as a proactive, always-on shield specifically designed to stop those scams we were just talking about. So how does it do it? Well, the Guardian's AI is actually listening to incoming calls in real time. It's been trained to recognize all those classic scammer tricks, creating a fake sense of urgency, asking for gift card numbers. When it picks up on a threat, it doesn't just pop up a warning. It automatically hangs up the call and at the same time sends an instant alert to a family member. It's an active defense, not a passive one.
The second layer is where things get really, really interesting. It's called the Health Sentinel, and it basically turns the phone's microphone into a tool for proactive health monitoring.
So check this out. The Health Sentinel isn't listening to what a person is saying, but how they're saying it. It's analyzing what are called voice biomarkers, subtle changes in speech, like sudden breathlessness or a slight slur. These can actually be very early warning signs for serious medical issues, like a stroke or heart failure. And if it detects a pattern that's concerning, it can prompt the user to check in or even alert emergency contacts. It turns the phone into a health monitor that's always on, working passively in the background.
So the tech is really compelling, right? But look, a great idea is one thing. A solid plan to get it into the world is another. And that brings us to the third layer of SilverKey OS, which isn't a tech feature at all. It's a business model that's built around selling peace of mind.
And the market for this kind of peace of mind is just enormous. The entire global market for elderly care technology is getting close to $100 billion. But even if we narrow it down to the very specific group SilverKey is targeting first, English-speaking seniors over 75, we're still talking about a $12 billion market. I mean, this is a massive and hugely underserved group of people.
So the plan to get this out there is actually pretty clever. It rolls out in 3 phases. Phase 1 is to go directly to consumers, but they're targeting the adult children, marketing this as the peace of mind gift. Smart, right? Then in Phase 2, they plan to partner with insurance companies, who have a huge financial incentive to prevent fraud and catch health problems early. And then the end game, Phase 3, is to partner with major phone companies to make SilverKey the default operating system on a dedicated senior phone.
But of course, no plan this ambitious is going to be a walk in the park. There are always going to be hurdles and risks. So let's be realistic and talk about those critical risks and how this project plans to deal with them.
And what's impressive here is that they've clearly thought about the biggest objections. For instance, you might be thinking, banking by voice? That sounds kind of scary. Well, their plan is to start with view-only access to build trust, then slowly introduce small payments. What about different accents or speech impediments? The AI models will be fine-tuned specifically on large data sets of elderly voices. And the biggest one, building custom hardware is insanely expensive and difficult. Their solution? Don't. Just use existing off-the-shelf tablets and install SilverKey OS on them. It's a really pragmatic approach.
So, when you pull it all together, the scale of the problem, the elegance of the technology, and the cleverness of the business plan, it all kind of boils down to this one final, powerful question. It really pushes you to think differently, beyond just apps and interfaces. With technology like this on the horizon, could the future of care, of security, and of connection for the people we love, could it simply be a conversation?